Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh b'dvaro. According to Jewish tradition, the mitzvot that we have to fulfill, many of them, these are norms, many of them can be done by somebody else. In other words, I can delegate somebody, do it by proxy. Somebody else can do certain things for me. Of course, not everything. You realize that nobody can study for me. That I have to do myself. But on the other hand, somebody can investigate, can look up sources and then give it to me. You know, there can be a combination. In any event, you can do things through other people. For instance, I don't go to Israel in order to support a certain institution that I favor in Israel. What I do is I send them a check. I send the money. I give them the resources in order to do something. I don't have to do it with my own hands. I can delegate somebody to do something, and I get the credit because it's my money. I earned it, so therefore I get the credit. I have the interest in helping somebody else. Yet, I want to make a difference, you know. Even though the recipient, the one that gets the help, doesn't really care whether I give it to him directly or whether he gets it through somebody else, when it comes to myself, it is not the same when I do something through an emissary, through a proxy, than when I do it myself. If I do it myself, there is another involvement in it, in the action itself. There is something that happens to me also in the moment when I do a good deed. I want to reflect these weeks on our patriarchs. One of them was Isaac. Isaac was basically a person that didn't do much. Things were done for him. He was almost offered as a sacrifice. A wife was gotten for him. He didn't do things himself. As a matter of fact, living in Israel, which was a land that was not cultivated at the time, full of desert, of sand, very important in the desert is, of course, to get water. So how do you get water? There's hardly any rain in the desert. What do? You excavate. You look for a well under the earth where there is water, and you extract the water from there. So he tried to excavate wells, but he didn't excavate no new well. The wells that he excavated were those that were already excavated by his father Abraham. But the Philistines had filled them up again with earth, so he went and excavated all over again. Well, it says in the Torah that his servants went and excavated a well, but that produced esek. Esek means like a confrontation with the people around. The people around didn't want anybody starting excavating wells again. He went and excavated another one, also one that his late father had done before. And this was called sitna. Sitna means enmity. You know, that's more than the first one, because the people didn't like it. Finally, a third one was excavated, and this one was called Rehovot. Rehovot means amplitude. That's something altogether different. This isn't confrontation. This is friendliness. You know, you're open to everybody. As a matter of fact, in Israel, there is a very famous institute, Weizmann Institute, that is situated in a city called Rehovot. Rehovot, that's the name that Isaac gave to this third well. So our rabbis reflect, some of them, and say, why is it that the first well created a certain amount of confrontation, esek, with the people around? The second one, sitna, enmity, and the third one, amplitude. And they say the following. Read very carefully the Torah, and it says that the servants of Isaac excavated the first one, the servants of Isaac excavated the third one, the second one, the third one, Isaac excavated. This time he was involved physically in the excavation. Is he responsible for the first two wells? Of course. There were his servants that did it. He told them to do it. He gave them sustenance. He provided them with salaries or whatever was the custom in those days, but the third one he did with his own hands. That is a different kind of involvement. Our rabbis say that the three wells maybe represent the three Batei Mikdash, the three temples that were built in Israel. The first one was destroyed because of confrontation with other religions. There was idolatry in the first Beit HaMikdash. The second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed because of internal strife. There was enmity, gratuitous enmity among the Jewish people. The third one is Rehovot. The third one is the one that is going to be Amplitude, represented by the third well that Isaac dug. So what I'm trying to tell you is, it is very important to do good in this world. You can do it by way of others, by contributing, but there's nothing comparable to doing a good deed with your own hands. You can have a tutor for your son to help him with his math. He is deficient in math, so you hire somebody to help him along with his homework. But it's different if you help him with his homework. Altogether different. Instead of paying somebody to do it, when you do it yourself, not only are you establishing a new relationship with your child, you also derive tremendous benefit in seeing how he responds to it. So try to do good. If you can't help it, do it through somebody else. But if at all possible, do it with your own hands. You will feel much, much better by doing it.